Good morning. You know, we call him Doubting Thomas, when really he's St. Thomas. He had just endured, he had just witnessed the greatest tragedy in mankind. The worst thing that ever happened in this world, Christ being hung on a cross. And look what good came out of that. Look how much wonderful things happened after that tragedy. We all have tragedies in our lives. We all have things that should not have done. It could be the loss of a child, a brother, a sister, a parent. But there's other types of mourning too. A child that doesn't go to church anymore. A grandchild that's not baptized. You or someone you know had an abortion. There are many tragedies in life. 9/11, it just goes on and on. And it dawns on me when someone says, why would God, a loving, merciful God, allow these things to happen? First of all these things are not God's will. Bad people do bad things. That's not his will. But what personal good could come from it? I want all of you to think of, in your mind, that one terrible tragedy. Doesn't take but a second. You know what happened in your life that was terrible. I know it's easy for me, and I'm home. Everybody here, most everybody knows me. You already know my tragedy. But I don't want you thinking about mine. I want you thinking about yours and what happened. I remember when I was in that process, the first thing, and I think everybody does this, is you start to search your soul. You start to really search your soul like you never did before. What have I done? And it could be that your tragedy is something you did. What have I done to cause this suffering? What did I do? And it's really the process that was created in us. Even if you had nothing to do with it, you still go through that process. What did I do? You search your soul. For me, I wrote it all down. I wrote it all down. And I went to confession and I read it. I read it all. You know, it was really something. It was something. Because I came out and the pain was still there. Hadn't changed at all, really. But I had a contrite heart. That's what changed. That's what happened. It's what I sang in just a few minutes ago. You came to heal the contrite heart. Lord have mercy. You came to heal the contrite heart. That's the first step. The mercy doesn't come without the contrite heart. I pray that all of you, who I'm sure everyone has done that sometime in their life, that you kept the contrite heart. Because that's where all the healing starts. When I started to realize that, I started thinking, well, I was praying for the wrong thing. I was praying for forgiveness. I didn't need forgiveness. I needed mercy. Divine mercy. But it's the way that God created us. We got to go to the forgiveness first before we have the contrite heart that he promises he will heal. Then I realized that the mercy was already there. I just didn't recognize it. The mercy was already there. It's just that I couldn't see it until I had confessed, until I had a contrite heart. One of the greatest things, when you have a tragedy, you're most likely and most capable of helping someone who had the same problem, who had the same thing happen. And I went upstairs into the choir loft, and there was a woman there that had very much the same thing happen a few years earlier. Didn't say anything. She just waved. It was amazing. It was amazing. That's all that was. Another woman that I knew had two sons who were my playmates here at Blessed Sacrament. One died young, the other one died just a couple years ago. And she came to me. It wasn't what she said. It was just that she was. And it really helped me. Her son was one of the finest human beings I ever knew. Really. He was really one of the finest, and that's a heavy thing. But it's about your contrite heart. That's just how I went through it. And it came to me that mercy is given, but more, it's shared. It's shared. That came to me when we pour the water in the wine, and y'all see the priest or the deacon do it, and he puts a little water in it. Okay? At the same time, he prays. By the mystery of this water and wine, may we come to share the divinity of Christ, who came to share in our humanity. Mercy shared. He shares the mercy with us. You can't go to Christ and cry to him and say, you don't know what it's like. You never had to suffer the tragedy that I suffered. You can't do that. He was there watching his mother suffer, watching her son die. He knows what it's like. God wants to share our mercy. The mercy that we are taught from the church, there are other forms. We have 14 of them, okay? Feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless or travelers, visit the sick, visit the imprisoned, bury the dead, counsel the doubtful, instruct the ignorant, admonish the sinner, comfort the sorrowful, forgive injuries, bear wrongs patiently, pray for the living and the dead. But just because you suffered doesn't mean you became merciful. Just because you suffered doesn't mean now I'm something special because I suffered. A good example of this might be a sober alcoholic, someone who suffered through alcoholism and became sober. If he goes to another person that's still an alcoholic, still drinking, and he beraves them, he's going to lose his contrite heart, and he will lose that mercy. He has to help those people in the same problem he has with mercy. That's why they tell him, but for the grace of God, I'd still be there. But for the grace of God, I'd still be that sinner. Lord, have mercy on me. If you want your broken heart healed, have a contrite heart, and God will mercifully heal you and share that mercy with others.